Hello, everyone. Hey, this is a book review for the book titled The Good Life. This book is about a gigantic, multi-decade research project conducted by Harvard University. And the book is written by two Harvard psychologists, one the director of the study and one the assistant director of the study. And the book is basically about trying to figure out scientifically what makes a good life. It's a vague term. So what they did to try to figure that out is study the same, study like hundreds of lives, like the same lives, through a whole lifespan, hundreds of lives, and then compare their findings with the findings of other similar studies. They're called longitudinal studies, where the same people are followed throughout their whole lives, like through questionnaires, interviews, medical tests, all sorts of different things. So they find, they gather data on their biology, their social patterns, their the way they think, all sorts of different things. And again, this is a research project where not only do they have their own data to work with, but they compare their own data with thousands of other studies. And these studies are from all around the world too. And they, in all, the Harvard research study, when combined with all of the other supporting studies, research projects, this project involves tens of thousands of people from all around the world too. And so really, this book is supposed to be relevant for basically every socioeconomic status, race, gender, culture, country of origin, what have you. The book was intentionally written to be relevant to all of these groups of people, basically anyone, with the exception of, I think it's only published in one language, but it was actually only published this January 10th, 2023, I believe. And I actually knew about this before they published it, and so I pre-ordered it, and so that's why I got it so early. And then I read it, and so my thoughts on it are, it's fairly objective. Now, you could potentially see, a liberal slant, but you could also see a conservative slant. It just kind of depends on how you look at it. It's fairly objective. It's not perfect. I, for one, kind of maybe question some of their research methods, or at least they don't explain them as much enough for me to, be like, okay, I understand that. They just say, okay, here's what we found, and maybe a very, very vague description of how they found it, but I don't know. I guess that's up to the psychologists to figure that out. But other than that, it is a great book, and it can potentially be very validating. And I say that it does make you kind of wonder, if there is a heaven, what kind of books do they read up there? I just think this book is really great. There is so much in this book that you kind of have to read it more than once to kind of try to catch everything, and on top of that, or retain it, I guess, maybe. But it's so compact and everything, so well mapped out. I'll tell you what, it'll take a good couple reads to get everything. And on top of that, even when you do that, I would say it's one of those books that I've never really encountered myself before that you might consider reading, like, even once you've read it once or twice to kind of grasp it, you might consider reading like another time, or at various points throughout your life, because it's like, well, it's relevant to like basically every age, well, more or less, from teen years on, pretty much. Well, no, even before that, a little bit. But it's a crazy book. I would really recommend it, and I would be very almost kind of disappointed if you didn't, because it is a really great book. Like, it has some aspects to it that aren't necessarily, I don't know, perfect in my opinion, but it is a great read, I'll tell you. If you have the time, it's not extremely expensive, and there's multiple options to get it. I think you might really enjoy it if you gave it a chance, but it is not for the faint of heart. But either way, thank you for listening to this, and I hope that you can potentially find some time to read this. Enjoy.